Why do I feel overwhelmed all the time? Our homes are an extension of our energy fields. Everything we have in our homes is a representation of ourselves. This is why practices like cleaning our homes, rearranging furniture, organizing cupboards, and getting rid of stuff that is cluttering up our space can have a profound impact on our mind, body, and spirit. I find the best way to do this is to focus on what we can do something about, particularly if everything that's happening feels like it's a crisis and overwhelms us. So if we focus on what we can control, like making a simple plan to help us stay a bit calmer when we feel under pressure, then it gives us a good and empowered feeling of having a way to move forward. So if we focus on what is in our control, then it becomes easier to accept that there are things that are beyond our control, like how the government is responding to world events and what other people are doing and saying. And a way to get this place of acceptance is by focusing on the breath whenever we get caught up in that feeling of being out of control and overwhelmed. And then obviously we need to take some sort of action, and we do need to make sure that the action we take is in line with our values. Because if you take action that only pleases other people, it's not good for you. And then it will cause you stress and take you straight back into that feeling of overwhelm. So your values might be things like kindness or courage, patience, love, compassion, determination, playfulness. Whatever your values are, connect with them and let them guide your actions. However, having said all that, if you feel that you just have to worry, then give yourself permission to worry. And when you do this on a conscious level, the interesting thing is that you can't quite grasp those pesky thoughts, and they might not seem to be as troublesome as when you allow them to go unchecked and round in your head. So every day, maybe set some time aside for worry time so you can be calmer for the rest of the day. It might take 5 minutes or it might take half an hour. Take the time that feels right for you. So when you get carried away by your thoughts, stop, take a deep breath, and pay attention to it, your breath, that is. And then notice how and where you feel the most tension. Maybe it's in your shoulders, maybe it's in your jaw, or in your hip area. Then just let that part of your body soften and notice your breath going in and out. And you can take this awareness a bit further. When your thoughts keep returning, because they will, then have in your mind's eye that you can reach out and touch them. You're not judging what the thoughts are about. You're just touching them, like touching those speech bubbles you see in a comic. And whatever snap judgment you're making about your thoughts, by touching them, you're short-circuiting the connection to them by touching them gently and then coming back to the breath. Thoughts are not the enemy. It just means you're alive. So when you short-circuit them, it means that you've changed them. And maybe they've disappeared completely, or they've got less intense, or perhaps they've got to a manageable degree so you can just let them be instead of being ruled by them. And if they come back again, say, hello, touch them again, and let them be again. Don't worry about their persistence. Eventually, they will quietly tire themselves out. And as we do this, because we're not fighting with them, a little bit of rest naturally comes along. It's a byproduct. You don't have to try to rest or try to be calm. just touching and letting go allows a natural kind of rest to overtake us. How good is that? When we release stress, we can think clearly again by giving ourselves small regular breaks from stress. We down-regulate the nervous system so that we feel better for more and more times during the day. And in times of challenge or crisis, a certain amount of fear and stress are inevitable. They are natural responses to the more difficult moments of our lives. However, we often cause ourselves a lot of excess suffering by continuously worrying and ruminating about all kinds of things that are not in our control. So once you've practiced touching your thoughts and feel that you have a little bit of feeling of being in control, you could perhaps consider what small positive steps you could take to look after yourself and maybe others too. What needs to change to make things easier or better? If you take action in line with your values on what you can control, we can shift from a state of helplessness to one of being filled with hope and even being empowered. Life is not a problem to be solved. It is an experience to be lived.